Good Erev Shabbos. Good Erev Shabbos. Today is not Friday. Today is Erev Shabbos Kodesh. We're counting up, looking forward. Can't wait to immerse ourselves in the tachlis, the ma'aser benishos, the essence, the purpose, the payoff of it all. While we work so hard, while we're waiting and longing for, to lean in to enjoy a beautiful and a hail Shabbos. I want to thank our generous turn Friday to Erev Shabbos sponsors, Menin Tzipor Fishman, Eschus V'Chayriv Gras Tzipor Fedel, memory of Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Rabbi Yaakov Sidman David Aryeh, whose fourth Yortzeit was this week. Missing terribly, his neshama should have an aliyah. Hey, another Shabbos. Who doesn't need Shabbos? To immerse ourselves in Shabbos, to draw from Shabbos. Shabbos should bring the Torah, the Shirs, and the Shamos. Shabbos should bring good news and good tidings. I want to continue what we started last week. We're learning, we return to Bayam Darkecha, Rav Meyer Morgenstern, who's been opening our eyes and our hearts and our neshama to the beauty of Shabbos. And we last week began to learn and to ask ourselves and to wonder, why? If Shabbos is the day of the spirit, the soul, of a neshama that's yisera, a soul that's expanded, that's more tuned in, then why are we spending it nourishing the body, eating, drinking, sleeping, resting? So much focus on the body. And Rav Meyer quoted a beautiful mashal of the Heilige Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov said, the prince, the son of the king, is exiled from the king, and he gets a letter from the king. And he understands the joy and the happiness that he's going to be able to return. His father longs for him. He's going to be reunited with his father, the king. But the people he's around, they don't understand. They don't appreciate it. It means nothing. So what does he do? He buys a bottle and he pours the l'chaim and he drinks the l'chaim. That they understand. A good l'chaim, a good shmorg, that they understand. So they sing and they dance and they're overjoyed just to be immersing themselves in food and drink. And he's celebrating one thing. They're celebrating another. But by indulging them, they're able to celebrate together. And said Rav Meyer, says the Baal Shem, that's what Shabbos is about. That we are, so to say, bribing and distracting and indulging the guf, the body, so that the soul has the companionship of the body and happiness. The body is not distracting the soul. The body is not preoccupying the soul. The body is distracted, enjoying the indulgencies of Shabbos Kodesh, of l'chaim, of good food, of good drink, of good dips, of good herring, of good shallant, of a geschmack shluf, of a good nap. And because the body is so happy and satisfied, it is not competing with or creating tension with the soul. Now the soul can thrive. Now the soul can flourish. When we talk about Dvarim Anu Lamedim Yesod Otzim, says Rav Meyer, from here we learn something so important. Mahusa shel Shabbos hi Yom shel Tainug. Shabbos is a day of pleasantness, a day of pleasure, a day of joy, a day of happiness, a day of indulgency. K'moshe Kosov, as the pasuk Yeshaya Hanavi teaches, v'karasa l'Shabbos oneg. Now, the most authentic, the truest, the most lasting, the most immortal pleasure there is in the world is time with Hashem, contact with the divine, love of the divine, a connection with the divine. The greatest pleasure in the world that there is connection with the divine, with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. With the Kodesh Baruch Hu. To be able to be overjoyed by having access to the truth and living with reality, not in an illusion. Now the neshama in us, the chelek elokah mimol mamish in us, the best of us, the most authentic part of us, it's all it needs. A good minyan, a beautiful Kabbalah Shabbos, a nice Sefer Tehillim, a great Geschmack Dvar Torah. That's all it needs. There's Dvuka Bolas, Anig, I love to sing about him, to dance with him, to sing Zmiros about him. During the 6 days of creation, but 6 days our body is busy earning a living, buying, cooking, preparing, indulging, pampering the body. So the natural order, the natural world, the world of materialism and physical is dragging us down. So our neshama, our soul, is like the prince, the son of the king, who's in captivity. The soul is in captivity of the material physical world all week long. And all week long, driving our car, and going to work and earning our living and getting a return on our investments and shopping and cooking and preparing and so busy engaging the physical world, the neshama forgets almost it's a ben melech. The neshama forgets it's a prince, it's royalty. Of b'Shabbos ha'or niftach. On Shabbos the light opens. And now the soul can return, can restore, can see right. That all there is, all that's lasting, all that's immortal, all that's eternal is the soul. is Hashem. Now it wants to return to Hashem. And that's the first Nikuda of Shabbos Kodesh. Listen, Chevra, friends, that says Rav Meyer is the first Nikuda. Sheyehudi nizkar shehu ben melech. The avoda of turning Friday into Erev Shabbos, our job, our mission, our mandate, what we're working on today is to remember we're royalty. We're princes and princesses. And even if all week long, maybe we didn't dress it and speak like it and act it and look like it and look at things that reflect it. But now, as we go into Shabbos, we remember we're royalty. We're princes and princesses. And you see that. People who are shlubs, people who are dirty, people who are busy, people who are disheveled all week long through the work of this world, it's time to get ready for Shabbos. Ooh, a Shabbos clothing, a Shabbos look, a Shabbos panim. It's the neshama, it's the ben melech, it's the prince, it's the royalty. Hutofis mahi amatzias amiti shelo. Shulchelek elokam mimash achayim amitim hem advekas b'Hashem. Shabbos is kamo michtav me'Hashem yisbarach liYehudi. Shabbos is like getting a letter from Hashem. Every Friday we get a letter from the Ribbono Shalom. Ata b'ni, you're my son, you're my daughter. Ani itcham with you, lo shachachti mucha. I didn't forget you. Yes, soul, you're in captivity of this world, of the material world. I didn't forget you, don't forget me. Don't forget me. Live the truth. That's the mitzias ha'amitis. And no matter how many times we failed or no matter how many times we've fallen or we failed, the reality is we are still princes and princesses. We're royalty, we're kings, we're children of the king. And he writes us this letter to remind us, to validate us, to affirm us, to tell us he loves us and we should love him. And when we hear this, we're overjoyed with a true joy. His galas oishim isbarach. This light is the ultimate simcha. Oz v'chedva bimkomo. Oz v'chedva bimkomo. That's all the neshama wants, to receive the light. All the neshama wants is to be nourished. All the neshama wants is to be validated. All the neshama wants is to have access. All the neshama wants is to go home, and that's what Shabbos is. So all week long, we are held captive by this world, watching, looking, listening, running after, pursuing, chasing. All week long, we're working. And then Shabbos, we get this letter Friday. Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos by getting the letter. Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos by remembering a letter from the King of Kings. You're a neshama. Let yourself free. Be liberated. In captivity, it's not who you are. So how do we sing and dance? With whom do we sing and dance? Even in the captivity, that's where we bribe the body. That's where we bribe the body. L'maisa l'marasha ben melech kiba mechtav. Even though we got this letter, but we're still not home. So what do? We're in Galus. We're still not with Hashem. We're still in this world. So what's the answer? L'smoach es anashim shvivo. We make our surroundings happy and overjoyed. You give a l'chaim. Just like the prince in captivity, who the other prisoners don't begin to understand the letter from his father, so he gives a l'chaim. Now they sing and dance. We give a l'chaim to the body. It's taken care of. It's happy. It's satisfied. Now the neshama can thrive. After a good meal, after a good drink, after a good shluf, now I'm ready for a shir. Now I'm ready for a beautiful minyan. Now I'm not looking at the clock. Now I'm ready to sing zmiros. Now I'm ready for my chavrusa. The soul can flourish and thrive because the body is taken care of. That's the role. But our turning Friday into our Shabbos, our job and our mission today, remember, restore, come back to that fact and that reality. You're a ben melech. Fellow princes and princesses, my fellow royalty, wishing the holy Shabbos, a happy Shabbos, a healthy Shabbos, a Shabbos of Besoros, Tovos, Yeshua, for the Chamos, your Shabbos that brings good news and good tidings, Shabbos of Yeshua and Geula, Shabbos of the Rizah, the Geula, Tova, for the Shabbos.